Hey, Bulls and Bears, JJ, you're watching Bull, Boom, Bear Bust. It is Thursday, December 9th, 2021. Let's get back into some housing news and more specifically mortgage and mortgage companies. And we saw a big layoff in a particular mortgage company. And the news wasn't so much that so many people got laid off. It was a layoff of about 900 people, which is a lot for one company. It was about 15% of this company's workforce, called Better.com. All right, so it wasn't so much about the layoffs, even though it was a big number. It was more about the way they were laid off. These people were laid off on a Zoom call, and we're going to listen to a part of that call. And a lot of the employees were pretty upset, but this just shows you how things can change. You could be employed one day, 1 minute, and then next thing you know, you have a meeting, a Zoom meeting, and you're out of a job, and you're packing up your things and you're leaving. Things can happen in a matter of minutes. So we're going to talk about a couple different aspects. One is this type of layoff, this type of firing. These people basically got fired. A layoff's a nicer word to use. And we're also going to talk about, does this indicate something within the mortgage industry? Is there a changing now in the housing market because of what's happening now with lending? Is it slowing down? Are rates rising? We're going to talk about all that. Let's start right here. And this was very widely reported, talked about in many news outlets. It made the rounds on social media. Better.com boss apologizes for firing 900 staff on Zoom call. And the criticisms of this is that he failed to show respect and appreciation for his workers. It was a very see ya kind of a thing. See ya wouldn't want to be here, right? Either way, these people are out of a job. So whether he let them off gently, with care, or whether he just said, see you, bye-bye, they're still out of a job. So to me, it doesn't make that big of a difference. If it were me, it wouldn't make that big of a difference. Out of a job is out of a job as far as I'm concerned. But some people were upset about the way that they were fired and that they had no time to say goodbye to their coworkers and they had no warning. Well, companies don't have to give you a warning. So you could be lucky you had a job to begin with, or you could be upset that you got fired in a unfriendly manner. All right, so now let's hear directly from one of the employees that was fired that day on that Zoom call. And this was reported by Reuters. We're just going to play a clip here, and he's going to let you know how it went down, basically.
It arrived after what he described as his whole world crashing with just one click.
It was like somebody sucked the oxygen out of the room. And you start thinking, am I hearing what I think I'm hearing right now? Is that really happening? Wait, is this for me? And then my world crashes. And by that, I mean, they remotely shut down our computer, shut down our Slack, shut down our mobiles with the Slack, shut everything down.
So you're fired, but not only that, you're shut down within minutes. You can't say bye to anybody. You're locked out of your system. You can't send out an email and say, hey, nice to work with you. So that was another criticism of this type of a firing or this type of layoff. Again, not against the law. The company not breaking any laws by doing this, but people were upset by the way they got laid off.
So the community that I surround myself with, what I would consider my family, my fellow trainers that we've worked with nonstop, we can't even talk to them. When you're completely shut out of your system, we're Zooming. And I mean, imagine I'm like, hey, you're laid off, click. There's no resolution. There's no grab your stuff from your desk. You're still sitting at your desk. Nothing goes away. The laptop's still there. It's just black.
Garg has come up.
Now, this mortgage company, we'll just go to the website here. It's better.com. The right mortgage could save you thousands. And I think there's a few different aspects to this. One is a lot of companies are going more towards just online presence. And fewer humans are needed. Fewer people are needed to answer the phones because you can fill out the mortgage application online. You can submit documents online. So I don't necessarily think that this is a turning point in the mortgage industry. There's not a crash in mortgage applications. In fact, let's take a look at the mortgage applications here. All right, so what's going on with mortgage applications? Well, let's bring some of this bigger chart into view here for us. And we see that mortgage applications have declined, but this is about a 12-year chart. They haven't crashed, and they're still well above what we saw during the financial crisis back here. but they have dropped off quite a bit from 2020 and earlier in this year, 2021. So maybe the company hired too many people in here when they saw this big surge in mortgage applications, and now they're just making up for it. The reason I wanted to point this out, because some people are saying this is the turning point, the mortgage industry, you're going to start seeing massive layoffs. I don't think that's the case, because the Fed, they're not going to let mortgage rates go up too much higher, in my opinion. Let me know what you think, please, down in comments. So mortgage applications did dip, but they also went back up here at the beginning of December. Banks are still lending. Banks are still being propped up by the money printers. So not much is changing there. So they could have just hired too many people. Also, technology and the online application, things like that, have created less need for people. And I think we're going to see more layoffs, not just in the mortgage industry, but just in general because of this. Now, new jobless filings are down this week. We're going to talk about that in our next report. But let's take a listen. This is the CEO, and this is his Zoom call. And this is what the employees saw and what they heard before getting let go. Take a listen.
This is the second time in my career I'm doing this, and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. We are laying off about 15.
He said the last time he did it, he cried. So that sounded like a little bit of an easy letdown. He showed sympathy, right? Let's continue.
15% of the company. If you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group being laid off.
Well, he was.
If you're on this call, you're part of the unlucky group being laid off. Okay, so if you have a job, you need to be ready to be laid off. Be ready to be laid off. All right, how many of these 900 people went out and took a 30-year mortgage based on getting approved based off of their last couple years of income, and now they don't have a job? And isn't it kind of crazy that we could give out a 30-year mortgage, just taking a look back at the last couple years, like nothing bad's ever going to happen. So you're giving somebody a 30-year mortgage just based on looking at a couple years of work history. Right? How many of these people went out and got the maximum mortgage that they could afford and bought a home because they have a nice job in the mortgage industry and it's stable, not thinking that they're ever going to get laid off? Well, and you just got to wonder where these people are going to go work now. Are they going to have to work in fast food or some other leisure hospitality job, which actually makes up about 70% of U.S. jobs, is service sector jobs, leisure hospitality, restaurant, service industry, etc. Will they be able to find work in the same industry? Are other mortgage companies hiring? Well, there's a big labor shortage. So the fact that this is happening at a time where there's such a big demand for workers also, can maybe raise some red flags. But again, we don't see a big undoing of the mortgage industry right now. Could it happen? Sure, especially if rates are allowed to rise. If the money printers, if the Fed allows rates to rise, you could see a major fallout in the mortgage industry and lots of additional layoffs besides these. So what do you think about this, people? Was the CEO in the wrong for firing these people in this way? Remember, he said he cried the last time he laid people off. So I think he was trying to let them down easy. Thanks for everybody for being here. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Appreciate being here in this channel. Thank you so much for your support. Stay well, stay safe, keep stacking. Bye for now, everybody. Peace.